biggest muscle yet, the butt, the glute max. If it doesn't turn on like it should, our hamstrings will compensate and often the lower back will compensate. So muscles that shouldn't be trying to stabilize you are stabilizing. And that'll happen like in your setup posture if you kind of get into too much of that S posture or let yourself arch too much. Your power now is going to start to try to come through like your hamstrings and low back where power isn't generated there. It should be, through your core. Yeah.
Okay.
And it's when you get up there, just over the years, because you're so flexible here, your body has gotten the mobility from there and not from your hip flexors.
Right.
So hip flexors in this position here with that back flat is going to be a good one for you to work on. And then bridging, is it sore now?
Not really. It's just amazing. I just feel like everything's working. Is that me?
Yeah.
I think it just explains what I've been feeling for quite a long time. I'm always writing it off as okay, I'm flexible, I'm athletic.
Yeah.
And not really even seeing the differences between one side and the other.
So when you do, let's just quick look at a front plank.
Okay.
So on your elbows and then up on your toes. So this position for you, I would say look down more than straight out, because as soon as you raise your head and look out, you're going to tend to arch through here.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other thing to really work on for you is keeping that little bit of posterior tilt there. Did you feel how much different when you kick in there?
Yeah.
And so you shouldn't be able to hold it very long now because you haven't done that in a long time.
Yeah.
Go ahead and come down.
Man,
So
it's
you can cheat like so subtly in your plank, and all that's doing is making your low back worse because it tips forward just a tiny bit. And if you just do that tiny little pelvic tilt, it's much harder, but you're doing in the right muscles.
So that's another good early one for me to do, probably just planks and focusing on trying to not.
And don't have the mentality that, I can do this for a minute. Have it more like, okay, I'm going to roll that under, I'm going to use all the muscles correctly, and maybe I'm going to do it for 15 or 20 seconds because it'll start to fatigue and you're going to start to arch. And if there's any back pain at all, that means fatigue and the wrong muscles are working.
So I want to feel the abs working in the lower pelvic part.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
all right. So that one for sure, and then is this like up or down? Is this like down?
Yeah, but I would stretch, looking at your bridge, like the front of your hips are tight because, so this is called anterior cross syndrome. When somebody is kind of here, and I'm exaggerating, okay, but when you're getting used to, even when you stand and we tend to kind of hang on ligaments, people who are flexible in the same way or set up like this, when we're always in that little bit of anterior tilt, these muscles shorten. Okay? So both sides are tight. And when you went into your bridge, in order for you to even get to neutral, it was super hard. Yeah, your back said, I need to help out because I can't even get myself flat. So this is the way to get a good stretch on the true psoas by rolling under. And then just a static stretch, and you can hold for 30 seconds to a minute, or before you play or before you're going to do something athletic like basketball, you want more dynamic. So then we just kind of move. We want to do a static.
Still making sure to get that.
Yeah. And the 3 dimensions of movement are that forward and backward like that. And then we also go side to side. So let your, so this one, side.
The thing I just saw is like my core.
Yep. Here. And then.
Yeah, like I couldn't even get it out.
That's stability too, moving. Try to let it rock side to side. Can you go that way? So that way you should feel it stretch the most.
I feel like that way, like my back is trying to get involved.
That's because that psoas is not hugging on it.
So the biggest thing is if I'm doing that, don't feel arch, feel.
And it should vocalize here.
Yeah, I'm feeling it.
Okay, and then the last position would be just a little bit of rotation.
Which, on that last movement, I was rotating a little bit, wasn't it?
A little bit, yeah. It should be trying to do straight side to side. I have a video of this one, which I can send you to. So, in the video I have I'm doing it like this.
Okay.
But I wouldn't do it that way if you got first, because your back's gonna wanna arch, right? So until you have really good control there, then I would have you do it overhead, but you can just kind of go, use this as balance. Because this shouldn't be all about, this should be let yourself get some flexibility, so you can hang on to the club and do it.
Okay.
And then side to side, and again, when I'm doing it side to side in the video, I'm actually going way like this,
Right.
and then rotation like this, but it doesn't have to be, so you can hang on to this one if you got time.
Just the front? or-
Yep. So give yourself some stability, and then just
Flat. I'm just trying to make sure, I'm just trying to feel. The biggest thing is engaging, not arching.
engaging here, because now we're gonna put your psoas in a position where that's truly gonna stretch. If you don't do this, then what you're gonna do is just continue to stretch your low back. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So in this, yes, it kicks in stabilizers, but it's not meant to be a stability exercise. Yeah, you shouldn't have to go very far. And then side to side, and when you go that way, you'll feel a little bit more. Yep. This will all help your rotation.
It's really the only thing I need to work on. My golf swing is this rotation element going
That
through and I hit flying
and-
forward.
And getting out of that.
Correct.
Cleaning your shoulders.
I'm building the lat. Okay.
So,
Okay.
you want to go through some other exercises based off, like I'm pretty much done doing like this, the assessment.
Okay.
If somebody tested weak in scapular strength, I would like separate that out and test some of that. Okay, so first you gotta get into a neutral position. And then now start to go down a little bit with that leg, but you're not gonna go down as far, right? As soon as you start to feel right there, and come back up. That's where you need to start,
Okay.
because it's starting to come off my hand there.
Yep.
And you really need to engage these guys more than you need that leg to go all the way straight. This is the hard part about, like, it's awesome to find exercises online, but you don't know if you're doing it right, or
Right.
if, you know, like, this is a great one for you to do, but you definitely have to, you got wrong here.
I can feel it coming up.
Mhm.
Wow, and everything hurts. Like, meaning the back.
So sometimes, I mean, you've been super open about all this, because sometimes you're my hardest client, because they're like, why am I doing this stupid little exercise? I want to hit the ball further. Well, you can't hit the ball further until we get everything engaged correctly and working correctly.
I did 2 of those and my abs were just on fire. Because that's really
Let me
a
show you another
crunch.
awesome one for you in this
Okay.
position.
So that's what I can play with,
Stay
but
there,
just make
stay
sure that I
there.
keep that back flat.
This, you could just grab one of these
Wow.
sticks, or you can use a club and just hold it straight up to the ceiling.
Same thing back, feeling
So
like
now
it's
you're,
flat.
yeah, and then now you're gonna do a reverse. So you're starting here, this is your starting position, and then toes up. And then now you're trying to just raise up and get those toes near the club,
Okay.
and then come back like that. Don't let that, don't come back too far where you arch, so
Because that's
stay
gonna
here.
hurt, so I need to
So
stay
stay
up.
pretty crunched, but get those lower abs really engaged. Lift this all the way up high, and then try to tuck those toes to the bar. Yep, so up there. Yep.
Like staying on the short side of the blue
Yes.
cord. Okay.
Yes.
Oh, wow. Oh, goodness.
So that's called a reverse stick crunch.
How many?
Well,
Time frame?
it's, I mean, I would start with like 10 to 15, because, see,
I'm doing it
do
now.
a couple sets, yep.
Yep. So bar straight up.
Yep, I have
Alright.
video of this one too, if I can get
Bar
it.
straight up. Put the legs up. And don't let
Trying to
them
bend
go
those
any
knees,
further.
bend those
Okay.
knees more, and then, yeah. And you're trying to keep this about right there, okay? Yep.
I can feel, oh my gosh. Oh, all right. So that one, dead bugs.
I'll
One leg up
send
stretch,
you
yes.
stuff.
And then
The
I'll
hip
share with
mobility
everyone,
one, like, I'll just send you one of the videos I have, because it's not, the other ones I'll send you through the TPI website. They have a lot of great exercises, but they don't have all of them that I like to use. The other thing I'll do with clients a lot, and I'm sure you do, I'll just take your cell phone and say, hey, let me record you, and then you have it on your phone, and you
Right.
remember, and I'll talk you through what you're trying to do.
That's kind of what I'll use my stuff for.
Okay.
Wow, this is crazy too, because being so skinny and the abs are like,
Right,
they look
like it's not like you, like some people, right?
Right, exactly.
Obvious their core's
So,
not working.
I'm thinking that my core is okay.
So,
Darn it, okay.
setup posture. If
Yes.
you put this behind your back, slightly flatten. So I want you to practice your hip hinge without arching your back as I go lower, okay? So if I'm here, I have my head and butt in contact, and then I'm gonna slightly take my arch out, okay?
Okay.
Not like this. I
Right.
don't want you doing that.
Right.
So just a little engaging those lower abs, then
It's the same feeling
see
I'm
what it
feeling and
feels
everything
like
else.
to engage your lower abs as you keep everything straight. Now this is further than my golf posture, but that's okay. We want to train it, and then squeeze your butt on the way up.
Now think about
So it's a
that.
different type of deadlift.
But the same thing with my setup. One of the biggest things I've never been able to have or hold
A good hip hinge.
a good angle. A good angle. It's probably because, like you said,
Yeah,
I'm
your
overarching.
posture.
So when most people are here, they're,
Yeah.
but I'm there and I got like that look that, gosh, this is so crazy. Okay, so,
I mean, we might get you on the tour before we're done with all this.
well, I'm too old, but we'll use all this for my children. It's the same thing, we're gonna get it.
Okay, okay.
Into the
All
golf.
right, hang on. You gotta get your head against this. So flip this around,
Oh,
like, no, like.
backside?
There you
Okay.
go. I just don't want to flip it. Okay. So stand straight and just get, all right, now when you're really straight like this, your back's gonna totally wanna arch. Now, see how you rounded up here? So I'm gonna try to round down there. There, right here, okay? So I want you to feel it right here the whole time, holding that position as you hinge forward, don't lose that position.
Oh, man.
And it might be a very small range of motion right now.
It's like, it's as soon as I did that, I felt my back.
It's the first time your body has tried to do it this way. Good. You have the hamstring link to do it. You just don't have, or you didn't have the awareness of the core to hold it in that position.
So not up top, core, here, everything goes.
And then make sure if someone's chopping you right here, let the body weight go back, let the butt go back and hinge at your hips. So you don't want to like do this and not move those hips, right? You want to hinge back and soften when you sit up.